Hope everybody is well. It is Monday. Happy Monday. We're in March, the second day of March, month of miracles. Some are calling it. I think I'll call it the same thing because we are satisfied with good by the fruit of our lips. And so let's go ahead and call those things that be not as if they already were. So this is Miracle Monday, Motivation Monday, Miracle March, all of that. I just wanted to share something with you all this morning. Got out of an amazing board meeting with God. I hope you know that you can have a board meeting with God, and that's where He'll give you direction, insight, the strategy to complete your week, to go after your goals, to do the things that you are trying to do and accomplish what you're trying to accomplish in this week, this month, this year. So it was an amazing board meeting with God. And by the time I got to the end of the meeting, there are three questions that we answer. We talk about what are the defeating thoughts or the negative thoughts that might keep us from getting to our destination. And then we write down three Bible-based thoughts that are going to help us to power through and to meet those goals. And so as I was writing down my three power-based thoughts, attaching the scriptures to those thoughts that I'm going to use. Good morning. Attaching the scriptures that I'm going to use this morning, my theme was, is there anything too hard for God? And I started looking at some scriptures that I wrote down a few days ago, and I went back, and the first one was Jeremiah 32:17, I believe. Let me go to it because there's some big goals, y'all. If your goals don't scare you, if they're too easy, then you could do it on yourself. Why do you need God? You need to think big things, miracles, right? So I think the first scripture was Genesis 18:14. And so as I was thinking, is there anything too hard for God? And going to Genesis 18:14, where God was talking to Abraham, and he said that Sarah was going to deliver a baby, that she was going to have a child. And they were saying, I'm too old for this. I'm too old for this. But God said at the appointed time, according to the time of life, Sarah shall have a son. That's Genesis 18:14. The first question was, is there anything too hard for the Lord? I believe these were the angels talking to Abraham. Is there anything too hard for the Lord? Have a son. And so I said to myself, if Sarah can have a son at 90 years old, over 90 years old, if God did it for Sarah, He can do it for me. He can do it for me. I know there's someone this morning that there is something, and I'm talking to the over 50s or over 40 if that's you, whatever your age is. I want you to know that it is not too late to go after your goals, to go after your dreams. It is not too late. You're not too old. And I know a lot of times we're looking at the age of social media and technology. Some of us older people are not good with technology. We're just not good. I may not be the best. I've said to myself, I'm not the best with Instagram stories. I'm not the best with social media, but that's okay because nothing is too hard for God. If you pray and ask God, He can give you the ability. He can give you the insight. He can give you the wisdom that you need. He can give you the people that you need to help you to get to the goal that you're going to get to, right? There's so many facets and pieces and parts to our lives, to our success, and God has the answers to all of them. So I was finishing up my board meeting, and I said, okay, I'm on this there is nothing too hard for God tip today. All right. This week, I'm going through the week and I wrote down my goals and I wrote down the task. I need to schedule my calendar. And I'm saying that there's nothing too hard for God. So when I get ready to pick up the phone and call somebody and say, hey, I have this product here. This is going to help you. There's nothing too hard for God. I'm not going to be afraid. That's for somebody this morning. Don't be afraid to pick up the phone and call. Don't be afraid to ask for the sale. Don't be afraid to set the appointment. There's nothing too hard for God. So that was Genesis 18:14. I recommend you read that chapter. I'm gonna read that verse again. Is there anything too hard for the Lord? I ask you the question, what do you believe? Let me know in the comments. Is there anything too hard for the Lord? All right. So the second verse that I wrote down was Jeremiah 32:17. And again, we're on there is nothing too hard for God. So I want to read Jeremiah 32:17 to you. And actually, I'm going to read through 19. This is the New King James Version. It says, Ah, Lord God, behold, you have made the heavens and the earth by your great power and outstretched arm. There is nothing too hard for you. All right? Jeremiah just declares it. There is nothing too hard for you. You show loving kindness to thousands and repay iniquity of the fathers into the bosom of their children after them. The great, the mighty God, whose name is the Lord of hosts. All right, if you know God is strong and mighty, if you know he is the Lord of hosts, look, there's nothing too hard for God. All right, and then it says here, you are great in counsel, mighty in work, for your eyes are open to all the ways of the sons of men, to give everyone according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doing. So that's another thing. Verse 19 says, you're great in counsel. Ask God. He says, ask me, call unto me, and I'll show you great and mighty things, right? He's great in counsel. If you need wisdom, he said he won't withhold it from you. Ask him for wisdom because he won't withhold it from you. He's great in counsel. All right. So that's what we were doing this morning. When we went into the board meeting and we're praying and we're asking God, how do I do this? What am I supposed to do? How do I accomplish these things, God? I can't do it by myself. I don't know if you know that the things that you do, you don't do them in your own strength. Whether you know God, believe God, trust God, you don't do them on your own. It's because God gives you the ability. He gives you the grace. He gives you the strength. He gave you the breath when he woke you up this morning. All right. We can't even breathe by ourselves. You know the song by Ty Tribbett. No way I can make it without you. I can't even comb my hair. I can't even brush my teeth. We cannot do anything without the Lord. Nothing is too hard for God. That is your declaration this week. That is your confession this week. Nothing is too hard for God. So then I kept going because we write three verses, three Bible-based thoughts that are going to help us to power through to reach our goals this week, because we're seeking counsel of God, right? The Bible tells us to meditate on the word. All right. And so the last verse that I chose, and I have a whole list here, but it said 3. So I said, all right, I'm going to write down 3. I'm going to give you the last one that I wrote. The last verse was Matthew 17, verse 20. And I want to read it because Matthew 17, verse 20 is so full of wisdom, and we're talking about nothing too hard for God. But Matthew 17:20 has some good stuff in here, and I want to just pull a little bit out of it. Excuse me. Matthew 17:20. This is New King James Version. So Jesus said to them, because of your unbelief. He was talking about why he couldn't, the disciples couldn't cast the demon out of the gentleman's son. He said, so Jesus said unto them, because of your unbelief, for assuredly I say to you, if you have faith as a mustard seed, like this bitty bit amount of faith, okay? If you have faith as a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you. Nothing will be impossible for you. I want somebody to just shout right now. Nothing will be impossible for you. But what Jesus said is that you have to have faith, number one. All right. So we can read these scriptures, we can say these scriptures, we can declare it out loud, but if you don't believe it, it's not going to work. All right. So you got to have faith, right? You got to believe. It says because of your unbelief. That's why things aren't working out for you, because you don't believe. You got to first believe. Believe in the Lord, believe in yourself, believe in this word, because the word doesn't return to God without doing what he sends it to do. So, what word are you going to send out today? When you meditate on the word, he said you have to say to the mountain. You have to say to the mountain. Number two, first you got to believe it, and then you got to speak it. All right. So we're not talking about really speaking today, but you know what? It goes together. In Genesis, when God spoke the word into existence, he said, let there be light, and there was light, right? So you have to speak. There's power in the words that you speak. We have to remember that as we meditate on these scriptures and we're saying, there's nothing too hard for God. There's nothing too hard for me. Then we have to speak those things. Say it out loud, declare it as you're meditating. When you meditate on God's word, it includes reading it and speaking it, muttering it over and over again. You have to speak to your mountains. Say to the mountain, be thou removed, cast into the sea. If you don't doubt in your heart, you will have whatsoever you say. So that was good to me this morning, y'all, because I'm on the there is nothing too hard for God tip this week. There is nothing too hard for God. And it says nothing will be impossible to you. And I thought that was just so good. And so I just want to encourage you this morning. If you're 50 or older, I went to the 50s. I want to encourage you this morning that you can dream again. If you haven't dreamed before, maybe there was something you wanted to do when you were a little girl. Maybe there's something you wanted to do when you were a little boy. You wanted to play kickball. You wanted to play baseball. You wanted to do volleyball. I don't know. I used to want to sing all over the world. Now, that's no longer my dream to sing all over the world, but if there is a dream, there is a goal. You want to start a business? You're not too old to start a business. Start it. If you're creative, you can knit, you can sew. There's Etsy. There's what are the sites you can put your stuff on now? TikTok. You can sell on anything, right? Get pregnant. That's the message. It's time for you to get pregnant. It is time for you to conceive your dream. This is a seed this morning. I came this morning to tell you that as it was with Sarah, it shall be with you. If God could do it for Sarah, he could do it for you. If God did it for Sarah at 90 plus years old, he can do it for me. But you got to get pregnant. You got to get pregnant with your dream. You got to get pregnant with your purpose so that you can birth. So at the time, he says here, at the time, hold on, let me go to the verse. According to the time of life, according to the time of life, Sarah shall have a son. According to the time of life, Sarah shall have a son. Yesterday at church, the minister was talking about the seasons, right? There is a season for everything. There's a season to sow. There's a season to plant. There's a season to reap, right? You got to get pregnant. Get pregnant with your dream. Get pregnant with your purpose. Start the business. There's nothing too hard for God. If there's nothing too hard for God, there's nothing too hard for you. Meditate on this word. Joshua 1:8 says, meditate on the word day and night. Do what it says. Then you'll make your way prosperous. Then you'll have good success. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. God said, be strong. Be courageous. I just can't, I'm telling you, I'm speaking this to myself, y'all, as well. And so I knew I had to share this with you. It's not too late to live your dreams. It's not too late to go after your goals. Don't let anybody tell you. Don't let anybody discourage you. I know you see things online. A lot of times there's imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome. We're looking at the young people. Sometimes y'all may know that I've been on a weight loss journey, a fitness journey, and I've dealt with different things, different illnesses and things in life. I thank God that I've made some positive changes. I've made some changes in my home. I've made some changes to things that I put into my body that, my body is changing. I'm getting healthier. I'm feeling good, but there's still other things that I need to change. And funny thing, and I'm sure some other people have done this as well. I'm holding in my belly right now. Some of y'all can see my belly. But sometimes when I see a slim person, I kind of hold in my stomach, right? Because, I'm like, let me get this, let me hold it, let me suck it in, and I think I kind of do it subconsciously, because that's something that I'm working on, is getting my belly slim. But you know what? We have to not look at other people. Let's get away from the imposter syndrome, okay? Because there's only one you. What God has for you is for you. He made you fearfully and wonderfully and beautifully. You are the apple of God's eye. Like, your dream is your dream. Nobody else can live it for you. Your baby is going to be your baby. There's no person with the exact same DNA. Well, they say identical twins have the exact same DNA. I don't, I'm not a scientist or anything like that. But aside from twins, there's nobody with the same fingerprint. Your baby is your baby. Write it down. Pray over it. Speak the word over it. Believe it. Have faith. And then put some works to your faith, because faith without works is no good. It don't work. Faith without works don't work. All right? So I'm going to let you all go. What time is it? It's 8:55. Woo, I am on time today. I am on time today. So meditate on those 3 power scriptures that I gave you this morning. And I can't, and I'm sorry, I can't see the comments that good. I don't have my readers on. Where are they? I should have had them on the whole time so I could respond to comments. I can't see them, so I'll respond after. But let me just go through these scriptures one more time for you. And I recommend that you, when you're meditating on these scriptures, you read them in various translations, okay? I have read them in the New King James Version today, but go to them in the Amplified Version. Read them in the CSB version. Read them in the NLT version. It's so good. They're so good, all right? So the scriptures that you're going to read today, Jeremiah 32:17, Matthew 17:20, and then Genesis 18. And remember, there is nothing too hard for God. There is nothing too hard for God. Have faith. Have faith. Get pregnant. You ain't never been pregnant before? It's time to get pregnant. It's time to get knocked up with your purpose and birth your baby at the time of life. And I forgot to mention that the 5 seasons. If you didn't know, there were 5 seasons, okay? There's winter, spring, summer, fall, and due season. And your due season is coming. Your due season is coming. I need you to understand that. I need you to get that right in here. I need you to speak it to your own self. My due season is coming, and I'm going to birth everything that God has placed inside of me. All right, I'm getting ready to go, y'all. As always, remember, God's got you, and you've got this. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing day. And if you're on TikTok or YouTube, you can follow me on Facebook at theonlyangela.clemens.com. At the only Angela Clemens, and you can check my website angelaclemens.com. You can find all of my books there, and I will be back soon. Have an amazing day. God bless you.